Hello, welcome to Podcast vs. Player Spoilercast for Spiderman Homecoming. We've been and seen it, and we're going to give you our thoughts on it. I'm Cal, and as always, I'm joined by Dan.
Hello.
And Zoe.
Hiya.
Now then, let's just jump straight into it. Verdict, everyone.
Loved it.
Zoe loved it.
I think it was better than Wild Wild West.
Wiki Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
James West.
Oh,
Desperado.
God's sake, you always do the rest. Always.
We talk about Wild Wild West a lot.
Yeah, I love Wild Wild West. It's a great film.
Great film. Super underrated.
I'm about to say, it's like Will Young film.
It was a Will Young film, yeah.
Will Young, yeah. That famous actor.
After he finished X Factor or whatever it was he did, he went on to become a black man.
Yeah, I tell you what, that would actually be a show I'd watch. Britain's Next Black Man.
Hollywood's got some high standards now.
Oh man! Right, if that happens in the next year or so, copyright PvP. Unless we get in trouble, then copyright down.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Spider-Man Homecoming, excellent. Very, very, very happy. I can't actually think of many niggles that I have.
Sorry?
Niggles.
All right.
Any issues? I do have one.
I've got a couple.
Oh, Dan has a couple.
Oh.
I didn't expect that. So I'm just going to jump in with mine, Dan.
Sure.
Where was his spider sense?
See, I saw something about this actually today after I came back and watched it, because there's a few YouTube channels that I like to watch, PvP being the main one, obviously. But there are a few people that have done, their own sort of impressions and, reviews or whatever. And one of them did actually mention the spider sense, and they said that because it had been so heavily focused in previous films, that they didn't want to put too much focus on it in this one. So obviously it's still got the same crazy reflexes and stuff, but the whole sort of like Tobey Maguire slowing down time, and I mean, I get why they've done it, but I kind of would have liked to have seen a little bit of it, just to know that it's there.
I don't want it like the Tobey Maguire film, like with the bloody, when he's in the school and you can see like when the guy shoots the
yeah, it's like a fly and everything.
And all that. I don't want all that stuff, but he seemed to miss a lot of things. Like he'd get hit by stuff that I wouldn't expect Spider-Man to get hit by.
Unless he's still learning, maybe.
He absolutely is.
He's only 15,
he's still learning, but he's not like a mutant where his powers develop over time. He's got his powers from the get-go.
Yeah, but obviously it's all fine-tuning it, isn't it? So maybe he can hear it, but obviously he's too focused on what's going on.
Possibly. A thing that I did think about was maybe Tony Stark's suit kind of has something built into it, so he doesn't rely on it as much.
Maybe, but the whole point of his goggles that he was wearing, that he was talking about in Civil War, is the fact that his senses were so attuned that he needed those to kind of focus him.
The focus, yeah.
So I'm assuming that that's as far as they really want to go with it, which is fine. The thing is, though, that's one of Spider-Man's big things, and you know that he's got it. Yeah. So you don't really need to focus too much on it.
Yeah, I mean, it could literally just be down to what Zoe's just said, in the fact that this is a big league jump from what he was doing, like saving cats and stuff.
Yeah. Literally in this case.
Yeah. Literally. So obviously it's all exciting and it's new, and it'll grow as it goes along, hopefully. But that was probably one of my biggest, not complaints, just where I was left wondering, going, well,
I suppose maybe because it isn't an origin film, they're not going to be like, he can do this, he can do this, he's got that.
Yeah, you just kind of
know
expected.
The premise of it, yeah.
What are your issues, Daniel? Why do you hate Spider-Man?
Numerous reasons. Not enough Punisher, that being one.
That's okay.
I was hoping that maybe the sniper on the police helicopter who was looking at him, I was hoping he'd look up and it was John Bernthal, and I'd just have a massive poo. But there's a couple of things in it, but that's me just sort of going, what? But like the boat, right, the ferry that they go on, I think it was awfully convenient that power cell gun thing explodes and like perfectly cuts the entire boat in half, and I was just like, okay, that's a bit, but whatever. But then it literally falls in half, and then he manages to mostly stick it together, and then Iron Man pops those little things on the outside and pushes it back together, and then like welds it back together.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's not how boats work. Like, if you split a boat right down the middle, it
It's gonna get
sinks.
flooded, isn't it?
Well,
No
it
matter
did
how
to
you
it.
repair it. It's gonna
It
get
did to a
flooded.
degree, but they,
Yeah.
they were trying to pull it back together. But there was still that, as far as I'm concerned, that boat should have sunk.
Yeah.
But again, this is artistic license, comic book movies. Things
Yeah, I was
don't
gonna
have to
say,
make
yeah,
sense.
This wasn't a Lifetime drama.
Yeah, like how boats actually work.
Yeah.
But that was a little thing. There was. I'm still not. Spoilers, by the way, obviously.
It's called the Spiderman Homecoming
I know, but
Spoilercast.
I don't want anyone whinging about it. At the end, Aunt May sees who he is. I was just sort of like, is that a bit too early to have her brought into the fold?
In the Ultimate Spider-Man, he's about the same age as Tom Holland, and May knows who he is in that, so they could be following that.
Maybe so.
I mean, she might not even know, because he wasn't doing...
She was like, holy shit.
Yeah, but...
in that suit. Why would he have that perfect suit if he's not Spider-Man?
Yeah, but he wasn't doing anything, was he? He wasn't swinging around, he was just stood in his room.
Well, that's what I mean. His mate, like, there was no way he'd talk his way out of that. Like, I saw you come in through the window, crawl across the room, web shoot the door closed, and then, like, lower yourself from the roof by your fingertips. You're definitely Spider-Man. But, you could go, oh, it's just...
pajamas.
Yeah, it's just a costume. And she's just like, but you've been sneaking out all the time. And, like, literally everything that I've told people throughout the film.
I'm a drug addict.
Yeah.
I need a fix.
I don't know, but I'm hoping that it's not really going to be an issue, and either he manages to cover it pretty well, or she's just cool with it.
Yeah.
But that's always been kind of like a staple, is that absolutely no one can ever know who he is, sort of thing. And then it's just like, well, he's fucked up twice. So his spider senses clearly weren't working then, as he didn't notice there was someone in the bastard room with him.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, it's not gonna follow the Ultimate Spider-Man series perfectly, because he ends up taking his own team at Shield, and then when basically it gets destroyed and they're renovating the headquarters, like Power Man and Iron Fist and everyone goes to live with Spider-Man at May's house, and I can't see that happening.
Without knowing that, he's someone of note with them,
So, but, I mean, it could literally be, it's getting everyone going, oh man, she knows he's Spider-Man, and then it's literally, it could be, it's just, I like him, and I bought this costume.
Maybe, but if
Probably
you're doing
not.
that, you've got to go all in. You can't just try and... She doesn't seem like an idiot. You can't just sort of excuse something like that.
Yeah.
She was my only niggle throughout the whole film. How oversexed they kind of made her. Like,
I know what you
all
mean.
the boys are fawning over her. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Yeah, she should be younger than maybe obviously the Tobey Maguire ones, where she's like pretty much a nan.
Yeah,
But
Tobey Maguire's like 40.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like, she's like Tony Stark liked her, his best friend fancies her, the guy in the restaurant fancies her. It was just a little bit too much attention. Like, oh, your aunt's hot, blah blah blah. It's like. She can be young and really, don't get me wrong, she is an attractive woman, but it's like, it was just a little bit too much focused on it.
But was she actually bringing anything else to the table?
Not really.
See, that's the thing. I mean, at least old, boring Aunt May, she was, constantly, too much so, sort of giving life lessons and ridiculous wisdom and stuff like that. I mean, I like the whole thing with the prom, like where she was helping him learn how to dance and stuff.
Moment.
Like that was fine, definitely. But I know what you mean. It was just sort of a bit like, okay, she's not the Aunt May that we're all used to at the moment. Get over it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, she's in this scene. We better put a boy in to fancy her. Or better like make sure she's in this situation where it's like, oh, your aunt's really hot.
Yeah,
it's just a bit,
but
over the top.
These are 15-year-old boys.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. It's like she is attractive, of course, especially his best friend. Not really the biggest hit with the ladies. Who's going to be like, oh, your aunt's hot. But it was just at the restaurant, like, oh, brought you this free dessert, or just things like that. That's the only thing.
What was that about?
Like,
that was the worst. Like the rest, I wasn't too bothered about.
Yeah.
Like Tony Stark's met her, and he's been in the house, and up until this, I didn't know him and Pepper were back together. But whatever. And then it was, but that one when they're out having was it sushi or wherever Thai food or whatever, and then she had, like you say, get that free dessert just because she was hot.
Yeah,
was a bit weird, especially as she was with
your nephew. He could have been his
son.
son.
They didn't know that it wasn't her son.
See, I thought that was going to be like a henchman or something. Someone who recognised them.
Yeah.
But then it was just sort of like, oh no, it is just because they've given you
attractive.
something for free.
Yeah.
Okay,
like
cool.
At the deli as well, like, how's your heart? Oh, she's a sexy Italian woman or something like that.
That bit was funny though.
Yeah, that led to a joke though,
obviously
because then
you
it's just like,
could,
how's your daughter?
translate it,
Yeah.
but it was just like.
But it said it like Dan just said, it set it up for the joke where
Yeah.
Peter then spoke in I don't know what language it actually was, but obviously he knew what he was saying and said the joke about his daughter and stuff, which then led on to another joke about him having to pay more for a sandwich because he said it about his daughter.
Yeah.
So that bit was fine to me, but that bit in the restaurant that was just weird.
Well, it's one of these things where if you think of it like on a broader scale and say, look, if they took that out of the film, what would have changed?
Yeah, would it have changed the film?
Nothing. No.
Anyway, we're focusing way too much on how hot or unhot Aunt May is.
Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that bugged me a little bit.
You said you had loads.
No, I said I had a couple,
You said
and that was
You
two.
said the film was full of them. We can go to positives.
I genuinely think that's about it. I mean, like, because obviously me and the person I went to see it with, we went out, we had some dinner afterwards, and we just talked about it. But there was only a couple of things that we noticed where I was just sort of like, maybe. But again, it wasn't anything game changing or film breaking. It wasn't anything like that. Because everything else was so fucking good. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tom
Well, I mean,
Holland is definitely the best Spider-Man, and Peter Parker.
Yes, and Michael Keaton is without doubt the best Spider-Man villain that there has been so far.
I'd say he is, but did you find him more menacing when he wasn't in the
suit?
Vulture suit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to be fair, when he gets like the next Vulture suit, and they're like flying around on that beach, and he just holy shit, he looks like a fucking devil. Screaming around. I mean, that's how I imagine Batman sort of attacks people. He just comes swooping in out of nowhere and just wipes them out. And like he's just stamping on him and like grabbing him with them legs and stuff.
The suit was fucking ace.
It was.
Really was.
I think the most intimidating was in the car when he was like dropping his daughter.
Yeah,
I was
just
like, I've got a gun just sat in my car. It's fine.
He was just. I mean, I don't think, with the exception of possibly Loki. Possibly only Loki. Like there haven't been any villains to that level. Not in the film. The TV shows are slightly different. There's some really, like David Tennant and stuff was fucking brilliant. Kingpin and that. But I don't think that there's one in the films that's as sort of charismatic and relatable, and you understand why he's doing it. And you kind of see why he's doing it, because he's been fucked over by the bloody government coming in here and fucking everyone up. So I'm just gonna I'll take matters into my own hands and do it. And then it's sort of twisted him a little bit, but he's genuinely scary.
Yeah.
Like they took one of the stupidest looking fucking villains.
I was literally just about to say they managed to make what is essentially a joke villain and make him fucking. Pretty intimidating. He's just an old guy in a weird green.
Yeah.
Suit
I think I remember that.
with a neck
He had a really weird nose.
Yeah. He'd steal the youth from people.
Yeah.
To keep himself alive, basically.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm glad that they didn't go down that route for it.
I liked that they kept obviously he hasn't got the same suit as he has in the comics and in the cartoons, but they kept.
He's in like a pilot jacket, isn't he? So he's got
so he's got the feathers and stuff, which
that was a really smart move.
Yeah, but it also made sense from a practical standpoint. The fact that he's flying around and he's got a pilot jacket on.
Yeah, and the pilot helmet with the night vision and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean that's what Marvel seem to do very well at the moment, is that they make their, they can take a ridiculous looking costume and they can say, how can we make it practical? Like how can we make it more than just something silly they wear? To something that you think, oh, I understand why he's wearing that.
Yeah.
He's got the pilot's helmet and the flight jacket and stuff because he's flying around.
With the exception of Iron Fist.
Who doesn't have his outfit, sure.
He just doesn't have anything. There's only one way we can make this look less stupid, and that's just...
Not having
he can stay in jeans and shirt.
Yeah, but I think that, I mean, if we're looking at those two as the main two, so we've got Spider-Man and we've got Vulture, both fantastic performances from both. Okay.
Although, before we go further, when we were waiting for the film to start, and I can't remember what we were on about. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's bloody Birdman, isn't it?" Like, no. She goes, "No, I read somewhere he's playing Birdman." I went, that's a different film completely.
But an equally good film.
Yeah, it's still a great film.
Well, because I want to try and get through this fairly quickly. Yep. So, acting talent, there wasn't a single weak link.
No.
No one kind of broke me out of it. Everyone was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I like, basically everything that's been covered in previous Spider-Man films, Tobey Maguire or the Andrew Garfield ones, none of that was in there. No more Green Goblin. Thank fucking Christ. Right? We don't need any more Green Goblin, okay? No more Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
No more mention of Uncle Ben. Him getting shot. We don't need any more of the spider, and how he gets the powers in the first place. All of that, they've just gone, if you should know it by now.
Well, they did mention the spider.
Yeah, but again, it was a one-sentence thing.
Yeah, and it was
done.
Like, spiders, and the spider's dead.
Yeah.
That was my biggest worry about this whole film, is the fact that because in Civil War they did such a good job of sort of glossing over it and just went, well, it's a long story.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, well, that means that they're going to have to introduce that in this. And they just didn't. And I was just like, oh, thank fucking Christ. We don't need to see it again, right? We can just assume that he's got the same powers, but via similar means, and this is where he's up to at the moment. That's all it needed to be.
Yeah.
So no more Goblin, no more villains that we've already seen, no more Doc Ock, no Lizard, no Electro, sorry. But we got Shocker, we got Vulture, Scorpion as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a villain that's more ridiculous looking than Vulture, the original Scorpion was stupid. It was basically just a guy with like a big coat hanger, like hanging out his
He
arse.
looked like a scorpion. He had a big working tail.
It looked ridiculous.
It looked as ridiculous as Vulture and Rhino.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because Rhino was just a massive
crazy
guy in a sort of latex suit with a horn on his head. But obviously that means that the Scorpion we'll get next will be like a mech Scorpion.
Yeah, it's going to be similar to Vulture.
Or, maybe like what they did with Doc Ock, and it's, it's just something that's like implanted into his spine, and then that gives him like control over the tail, maybe something like that. But either way, I like the fact that they're going with, other classic Spidey villains, but not ones that they know are a safe bet, like the Green Goblin.
But you can see where this is probably going, especially if it does follow Ultimate route. It's going to be the Sinister Six.
Sinister Six, of course it is. Yeah,
we'll have Doc Ock.
Which is fine. I mean, I've got nothing against Doc Ock. I think he's a great villain. I think Alfred Molina, who played him... Molino? Can't remember. Who played him in Spider-Man 2. He is absolutely one of the best parts of that film. He was great. And the arms and everything look fucking mint. So, I mean, if you updated that and just had someone of an equal caliber, but make it look cooler and, more high-tech or whatever...
I would rather have Ultimate Doc Ock over the Spider-Man 2 version. I liked Spider-Man 2, but I do think the Ultimate version will fit a lot more than this. Into this.
Yeah, definitely.
You never know, they might do it like Batman vs Superman, where they just have files if they do the Sinister Six, where you don't have to have like an introducing of each character. It's just a little bit of a backstory about who's who. I'd
be fine if they just did it the same way as they did Vultures.
What, just give him something at the start?
Yeah, literally just it was 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, they just set up
perfectly
what they were doing. That they were all. I mean, I don't like the fact that I suppose that's another thing. But again, it's just something that you just go, okay, well, they just know how to build all of this incredible alien weaponry.
No, because that guy was he seemed very tech savvy. So, and I mean, even
apparently
Ned,
he was the tinkerer.
He was the tinkerer. I was just about to say. But even Ned, which was Peter's best friend, he was saying like what all the parts were on the thing they were trying to open up.
Yeah.
So
but I mean,
it seems like it'd be very similar to our technology in terms of this does this and this does that. But it could obviously.
Because I mean, like
a building or fly.
The gun that he uses to disintegrate the first Shocker, like that would like. I don't know if you saw it when it was sort of like on the table, but like there was like a handle that was like kind of like sellotaped on, then like a staple gun was the trigger.
No, I don't know.
It would be like really bodged together, and that I loved because that's just sort of like we'll just sort of like Dead Rising it, you know, and we'll just get a bunch of shit, and we'll just put one massive power thing in the middle of it, and we'll just. But you know, the fact that they were using like one of Ultron's arms and like that kind of stuff to make these weapons, I thought that was really cool. And then like the Shocker's glove thing was great. They had like the yellow patterns on the sleeves. That was really cool. Nice little nod. I tell you what would be a good villain for the next one though. Obviously it's going to be Scorpion to a degree maybe, or maybe Scorpion, Vulture, whatever. Mysterio.
Nah.
Because if you think Mysterio, but in like a Scarecrow kind of role, you know, so it's just all sort of like, you know, because I mean this was fairly dark for a Spider-Man film, really.
Oh yeah.
But without any
All
rain or
things
crying or
considering.
whatever. Yeah. But you know, if you just had him just sort of like just doing unbelievable things, and then at the end it's just like, oh no, it's just a guy in a suit with a fucking bubble on his head. No, it's the fact that, you know, he can hype himself up as something incredible, but it's everything is just illusion and special effects.
Yeah, it could work. I mean, they've done it for Vulture, and Vulture literally looked like the singer from REM. In a bloody weird feather outfit, and they've managed to make him look possibly one of the most terrifying fucking villains we've seen.
Yeah, it's such a good outfit, that is.
Honestly, I was really, really happy with that.
Right, so actors, great.
Yeah.
Characters, portrayals, fantastic. Special effects, unbelievable. I mean, it was.
There was a few bits where it was blatantly obvious CGI, obviously because it was CGI. But when you compare it to Wonder Woman, it looked fucked on better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there wasn't anything that dropped me out of that film at all.
No.
Like I was just completely engrossed with it the whole way through. I thought the soundtrack was great. They had some really good sort of like poppy songs in there.
Yeah.
But not in a sort of weird Suicide Squad, just cram them all in as quickly as possible kind of thing. They had a really good soundtrack. Man, I mean, you can talk about every single element of it if you want to, but it would be a lot quicker just to talk about the things you don't like about it. And I've already done that. And that took about 5 minutes.
There's a little thing that me and Zoe were discussing with the little reveal at the end of Michelle's friends calling her MJ. Do you think they're going to phase out Mary and bring in this
No.
brand new character?
No, I think it's just someone called Michelle.
Yeah.
And they've just gone, my
MJ. A
MJ.
brand new character.
Yeah, but they're just going to say MJ just for the fact that it's a nod to MJ.
Yeah.
Because they had this
until
Liz.
Mary Jane comes in.
Yeah. Although, I'll tell you what, fucking hell, like, when he's getting ready for prom and everything, there's this beautiful sort of montage of him getting ready and learning how to dance and all that kind of stuff. And he turns up at the door. And I was just like,
brilliant that was.
I was just like, he's going to be in there. Of course he's going to be in there. And then he opens the door and it's just like, oh, I'm Liz's dad. And I was just like, fuck, I didn't see that coming.
Well, no, because in the comics, the Vulture isn't Liz's dad. So.
No, but I mean, I was expecting him. Yeah, she's from like really, really far back. But I knew he'd be in there, but I thought he'd be in there in the outfit and just sort of like whip him in through the door. But I wasn't expecting him not to know who he was, and he just happened to be there, sort of thing.
To be fair,
oh man, that really got me. That was good.
It did surprise me. It was only till after that reveal that I was like, oh yeah.
Really
it's like
nice
with him going on
house,
about the family and stuff, but you never saw the family. And it's like, I'm doing this for my family. I need to do this for my family. Blah blah blah. And then you see the house, and obviously it's fucking massive. And it's dead nice and stuff. And you say, oh, Liz is quite wealthy.
Yeah.
And then it all adds up. And I thought that was genuinely very fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely it was.
And the scene in the car when she's like, it's like, your voice sounds familiar. Have we met? And then she's on about all the stuff and that, and then
yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, you were disappearing all over the place.
Yeah. No, I was definitely. Honestly, it was so good. And
really well thought out and put together.
Yeah, I didn't. The film as a whole, I was looking forward to it. There was a slight bit of me that thought it could be bad, as is every film.
Yeah.
But
you got yourself too excited.
Yeah, this genuinely was really fucking good. Yeah, I've genuinely got no bad points that would knock it down in a score or anything.
Not at all. No.
Like
Any
say,
niggles are literally like tiny little points. Aren't
yeah,
they?
but I mean, I've got niggles about Logan, and I think
Yeah,
that's one
exactly.
of the best comic book films of all time. I genuinely do. The only thing I want to know is how far Sony and Marvel are going to let this go, because apparently there's this film is in Infinity War, probably in part 2 of Infinity War, and then you got a sequel to Homecoming. I think there's only 5. I'm sure they've said it's 5 films total, and then it's going back to Sony, which they can't do. It needs to stay. It needs to stay
Yeah,
Marvel.
if anything, they
So,
prove that
Yeah.
they managed to hype him up in such a way in Civil War that people are more excited to see him for 5 minutes in Civil War than the last 5 films that Sony
Yeah.
released with him.
Yeah.
And then they made this film, which is just... Not only has it blown all of the other Spider-Man films out of the water, it's blown most of the Marvel films out of the water.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's saying something.
Really is.
Actually, do you know what? That's one thing that has really, really annoyed me, is the fact that Wonder Woman came out so close to this.
Yeah. It doesn't
Because I'm
stand
just-
a chance.
No, that's what I mean, and that was what I was really kind of worried for, was the fact that firstly, was Wonder Woman going to be any good? Watch it, yes, it is really good. And then Spider-Man comes out, and it's just like, Wonder who?
Yeah.
Yeah. Marvel, the magic Marvel.
It's
I know,
what-
but it was a stupid idea to release them so close together. I mean, between Guardians 2 and Spider-Man, or between Spider-Man and Star Wars,
to be
like
fair,
that's your thing.
I think they did it at the best time, where get it out before Spider-Man, because no one's going to bother after. Like, at least like people have been and watched it, and it made a shit ton of money.
Everyone was raving about
Yeah.
it, and now, like you say, everyone's going to forget about it
Yeah.
now, really.
Everyone's going to
Yeah.
be looking forward to
Yeah.
Star
What
Wars.
came out about the same time as Batman vs Superman?
Civil War.
Civil War. So obviously that was the DC Marvel type.
But again,
war,
they
wasn't
both made a good amount of money.
it? Yeah.
A very much amount of money,
It's just,
yeah.
I suppose what everybody
But,
remembers
yeah,
most,
but
isn't it?
if they'd have released Wonder Woman then,
Yeah.
Civil War would have crushed it. That sold because it was Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
No matter how bad the film was, people was going to go and see it because it was Batman and it was Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's first Batman.
Yeah. Let's see if he is as good as we think he is, or as bad as we think he's going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Whereas if you'd have put Wonder Woman in there, which to a lot of people, obviously people know Wonder Woman is, but to the average moviegoer, they're just like, nah, I'm going to go see Civil War. So I think
Yeah,
I think
but
it was a
then
better
that
movie.
means that this year you could have had Spider-Man against Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
And those are better odds for, and plus Wonder Woman would have been established by that fucking point.
Yeah, if they could have got Batman v Superman out before that, then definitely. But if it was Wonder Woman, and then they were going to do Batman v Superman, then I don't think they would have stood much of a chance at the box office.
Yeah.
Did you notice, or was it just me? But it seemed that the stamps throughout the film with Iron Man and Captain America seemed to be very much, this is Marvel, this is Disney, this is our film, not Sony's.
Yeah, and plus with the Star Wars stuff in there as well.
Yeah.
So like we've got the little Emperor, we've got the Death Star, like the big Lego Death Star. But I think that it was very much trying to set itself in the Marvel universe rather than so he was doing everything to detract from the previous films.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
And say no, this isn't that Spider-Man. This is someone
our
else.
Spider-Man,
Yeah,
the real
but-
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you watch it and you just go, why have they given... Why don't they just say, look, Sony, look at the reaction we've got from this, right? We'll make you a ridiculous offer and just give us Spider-Man, and we will just do it forever.
I don't understand why they don't just continue this contract, because
Sony will make a shit ton off this and not do anything for it.
Sony are going to make more money on whatever percentage they make from the films Marvel and Disney make without spending any money, and then they're going to make money back off it rather than they make their own films, no fucker watches it, and the shit.
Does Stanley still own Marvel? Disney own Marvel.
Well, Disney owned Marvel, but it's still Stanley's property
Yeah.
to a degree.
So
But
was
he
he
doesn't
the
own all.
one-
He doesn't own all the
No.
characters.
So is he the one originally he gave Spider-Man to Sony?
No.
Well, I mean, I imagine in that sort of business sense, it would be there's this real sort of weird thing with comics is like whether the creators own the characters or the publishers do.
Yeah. Well, Stan Lee created the likes of like the Fantastic. I don't think Stan Lee actually created Spider-Man.
No, it's Jack Kirby, I think, wasn't it?
But it'll be like Disney obviously own all of Marvel.
Yeah.
All the property, the merch, everything.
Yeah, literally everything. So all the comics and stuff, Disney make money off. So Sony don't make money. Sony only make money off the films, and I think some of the games. I could be wrong there. But when it comes to films, Sony own Spider-Man, not Disney, and that's why they won't sell it back.
Yeah, but that's just such a shitty move. Like Dante, you could say literally name your price, and they'd give it.
Yeah,
them
Disney would fucking pay it.
Yeah, because then they could pump out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and not only that,
in 2 films.
they'd get the Spider-Man universe back as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not just Spider-Man. I mean, like the amount of ball ache with who owns what when it comes to comic book characters because of Sony and Fox and Disney and Marvel and fucking all this and all that. Whereas if Marvel just sat down with everyone and went, right, how much do you want? we've got the money.
Like, we've got the money. Not only that, we've also got Disney behind us, who have got more money than anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And if anything, this isn't just us being greedy and buying something that we know is popular at the moment. This is us saying that we can do this better than you can.
We care about the character now.
They know the character better than Sony or Fox or whatever. So I mean, Fox have had a couple of good ones with regarding X-Men. Obviously they've got Deadpool, and they've never released Deadpool now. But I still think that after this, Fox should be looking at the Fantastic Four and saying, maybe we should do the same thing. If we could give or rent the Fantastic Four back to Marvel and see if they can do something with it, we can just have the same kind of deal that they have with Sony, and we just sponge a bunch of the cash off. Because they've tried it 3 times and failed.
Yeah, miserable.
And Sony have tried 5 times and had reasonable success, but nowhere near the success. I mean, I don't know in terms of monetary value, but certainly in terms of critical acclaim, Homecoming's way better. Yeah, probably. I'd say before the end of the year, I reckon they'd hit $1 billion.
Well, by opening box office records, we'll know by the end of tomorrow how much it's made, and if it's made more than both the Amazing Spider-Man films and the Sam Raimi trilogy, then it's already a success. If it's made more in the box office in the first opening weekend, like Star Wars did when Disney bought it.
Yeah.
But it's I genuinely, I mean, I'm not a businessman, but I really don't understand why they, like you just said with Fox, and going back to Sony, where they sit there and go, well, we don't want to release the characters because we know how much it's worth, but we will allow you to pay us for you to pay to make a film, and then we make a bit of money off it as well.
Yeah.
It just seems fucking rocket. It doesn't seem like it's a stupid idea.
I'm sure that there's some kind of like contractual thing, hence why they had to make the Fantastic Four film, and it's the same as I think they did with like in the 90s, where they had to make the Fantastic Four film in order to keep the rights.
Yeah.
So it could be that kind of thing where they have to do something with it in order to keep it. Like if it becomes an unused property, then maybe it goes back on the market or something. I don't know.
That might be how they got Ghost Rider back. Because
Possibly,
Marvel
yeah.
and Disney got Ghost Rider back now. That's why he's in bloody Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
So, could be. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up because we've rambled on for a while. So
web this up even.
We really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, Spider-Man Homecoming is available in cinemas everywhere, all over the world. So go and watch it in one, and then fly somewhere else and watch it again.
I was tempted to go back in and watch it again, to be perfectly honest.
I wasn't. We were in a shit cinema.
No, right. Well, final thoughts then. Final sports.
Final sports.
Final sports on Spider-Man.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. The best Spider-Man film to date, and probably one of, if not the best, Marvel film to date.
Zoe, final thoughts?
I loved it.
Sweet.
Simple. Yeah, short and sweet.
Straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Dan?
Agreed.
I concur.
Even shorter.
Yeah. Brilliant. Can't wait to watch it again.
Watch
You
it
again,
again.
are
Maybe. It would be the first time I've ever gone back to see a film at the cinema.
you? Not to the same
And-
cinema. 35 quid later.
Fucking hell no. If anyone's going to go to the cinema that hasn't gone already to go and watch Spider-Man, do not go to a View, V-U-E, View, cinema. 35 quid just for 2 fucking tickets to go and see it. Outrage. Absolute fucking outrage.
Was it worth it though, Dan?
No!
Really?
35 quid!
Yeah,
I could buy like 3 copies of the fucking Blu-ray when that comes out for that much.
Too true.
35 quid.
You couldn't.
I mean, I sort of and ah about buying a game that's 35 quid that I know I'll get 60 hours worth of entertainment out of.
That's
A
very
film ticket
true.
is bullshit.
Did you pay for it though? Or did you pay
No,
for your tickets
which is quite good.
separately? What are you complaining for?
Well, I still bought dinner afterwards.
Yeah, but that did View make you buy the dinner?
No.
Get
you
into
go
personal
then.
life here.
Well, no, because we went to see
I
Doctor
had to pay
Strange.
for electric last month. It's ridiculous.
Well, I saw Doctor Strange, and that was when the Odeon was there, and it was like probably no more than 15, 20 quid maybe. So to add another tenner on top of that is outrageous.
Yeah, we didn't go to our usual cinema, but that cost what,
15 quid
Yeah,
for
it was like
both.
15 quid for both.
Yeah, and that's what I'd expect for a cinema.
No, because that wasn't even an IMAX. That was just a standard shitty cinema.
Oh, right. Well, we went to IMAX 3D.
Yeah, that's
I
what.
mean,
what we
it was
normally
fine
do.
in that. It just didn't need it, I don't think.
To be fair, it's not just whether the film itself is worth going to see in IMAX, but once you've been to an IMAX theatre, every other theatre's fucking wank, and they're not like the seats are shit. It smells. I mean, I was complaining because I didn't want to go to the shit cinema, but for time and money and stuff, we went there because obviously we had Zoe's dad looking after Logan, and I was complaining the whole time. She was like, "Well, we could just wait and go a different day." I was like, "No." Like, so we went, and I was whinging about it, and she was huffing and puffing, and we literally sat down. She's like, "Oh, it stinks in here."
How was your... I mean, this is something we usually do on Spoilercast as well. How was your overall cinema experience?
Shit.
Not the film, the actual cinema itself.
There
Shit.
was people, like, the seats were uncomfortable. The bloody cup holder was like on the back of the chair in front, so you had to sit forward to get your fucking drink, which was really annoying. The chairs weren't very comfortable. It has been renovated since the last time I went into that cinema was to see Man of Steel. That's how
Wow.
long it's been since I've been to that cinema.
Well, that was the first fucking podcast we did.
It was. Oh, let's see that callback. Callback. And they've renovated, and there's a little bit more leg room than there was last time I went. But there was people talking, people with the phones out. Like literally, after the trailer, like just before the film started, it came up. You know, it's got like the rating and everything.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Spider-Man. There was people still talking then, and had the phones out and stuff. And then towards the end of the film, I'd like ended up slunched in the chair because I was dead uncomfortable.
Slunched.
Yeah, that's the new word between slumped and slouched.
Right.
And there was somebody's phone. I think it must have been in the bag or something, and they must have been getting a phone call, and it was just flashing, but it was reflecting off the floor and coming up through the fucking seat. I was like, "Wah!" And then I went for a piss at the end, and there was a queue because there's only like bloody the tiniest, you know, like the long steel urinals.
Yeah.
There was like a small one of them in a cubicle. I was like, I was fucking pissed when I get home. Oh, let's go. I want to go. It's horrible. Not going back again.
And that's we'll leave you.
Yeah, bloody hell. Wish I had a fucking ass now.
And also,
Oh God.
no, that was it. I didn't like it. I enjoyed the film, but I hated the cinema experience. This was one of the few times where I have actually had like normally Dan, that's Dan.
Yeah.
What I've just done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm just like, to be fair, ours was alright.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, what's coming up on the channel?
Well, we've just done Podcast versus Player episode 111.
Mm-hmm.
So that is up now. You can go and have a look at that. We're going to be doing some fucking GTA. We're doing some GoldenEye. We've got some more Pancake Repeat to do at some point as well. Space Engineers, I've actually just looked on Steam and I've got 280 hours on that. So ideally, we should probably go on there and do something at some point because I've been pissing around with.
Not do any more because you've done far too much.
Well, no, that's me on my own though. Like I reckon about 3% of that has been with you doing something.
Yeah.
So you need to sort your life out and join me in space.
Paladins.
Yeah, probably some more Paladins. Video's just gone up for that as well, so you can go and check that out. Where can they go and check that out?
You can go to www.podcastversusplayer.com or .co.uk. You can go to youtube.com/podcastversusplayer. You can follow us on Twitter, which is @podcastversusplayer. You can spy on all our sexy pictures on Instagram, which is @podcastversusplayer. Or, if you just want to have a chit chat with us, you can email us, which is playervpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and because we didn't do it on podcast versus player, I don't know why I keep saying the full thing like that, but
just the
never mind.
podcast.
Yeah, podcast 111, the last one. What's on the monitor, Callum? You got to choose two monitors.
We forgot to do it.
Yeah, it's been so long since we've done it.
Podcast number monitor number 2, which is on the right.
It is indeed. So this is a photograph that you have sent me. It's not of your penis before you ask.
Oh, I don't know. Then.
He's like, oh. You sent it to me. It's from a birthday.
A birthday? So it's from Logan's birthday?
Nope.
It's not from Logan's birthday. Is it from your birthday?
Nope.
Is it from my birthday?
It is.
Is it? Does it have a watch in it?
No.
Oh. From my birthday?
Yeah. We're going back a couple of years, maybe.
Can I have another clue? Are we out somewhere?
No, this is of things that you were bought for that birthday.
Oh. Are some of the things from you?
Yes.
Is it a PlayStation 4 controller?
It is.
Some pop vinyl, Star Wars pop vinyls.
You've got to get them all.
Darth Vader without his helmet.
That's one.
Han Solo.
That's two.
And
that's it. That's it. You've got it all. Ding ding ding.
I thought there was more stuff on there.
No. It's the red PS4 controller,
Yeah.
a sweet Vader, and a sweet Han Solo.
Yeah, I thought I took pictures with the games that I'd have off and the watching stuff I'd have off Zoe and that as well.
Possibly on a separate picture.
Possibly. There you go. I got it right.
Yeah, you did.
Without
Good job.
any
Well
clues.
First try.
It's just a random guess.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, Dan, that controller is being charged as we speak because I was playing Life is Strange yesterday.
Sweet. Didn't need to know that because I want to win the podcast.
I don't care. It's not a podcast either.
What the fuck was that?
It was Zoe laughing.
Look, if you're not going to take part in this fucking podcast, then you can't laugh at it either. So shut up back there. Fucking unbelievable.
I'm sick of edits.
End it there. No, we're not editing that out. I want this to be a testament of time, for all time, that Zoe just gave up halfway through this fucking spoilercast, gave up on Spider-Man, on our love of Spider-Man, and just fucked off to the back of the room. Goodbye.
See ya.